I'm sorry, but we can't be friends anymore.
I heard from June Foster's brother. He's due back tomorrow.
Miranda thinks I'm trying to undermine her. You know, that I'm pushing her connection to June Foster's experience because I resent her new self-esteem.
Do you?
No. I love her. And I just want her to be happy and I just want her to be safe.
Well, Miranda's aware of what happened to June Foster, and clearly she's chosen to ignore it. Get on with her life.
So what am I supposed to do?
I think she's already told you. Be her friend.
I hear you're pretty good with that thing.
I can string a few notes together.
All right. Listen, I spoke with Fritz Hofbauer. He heads up music here. I told him about you, and he said he'd love to hear you play.
I don't want to be analyzed.
You won't be.
Extraordinary and remarkable, the timing of it. Miranda, the first violinist for the Pacific Northwest String Quartet, just moved to Chicago. They're holding auditions this afternoon to replace him.
This afternoon?
I want to call and recommend you.
That would be fabulous. You see? That's the reason for all this.
Mendelssohn's Opus 19, number 1. I haven't heard it played quite that way since...
What? Sweetheart, you're giving me a complex here.
Uncanny.
What?
I knew there was something about the way you played. The color, the phrasing, even the way you look and speak reminds me of her.
Of who?
Lena Robertson. Are you related to her?
No, who is she?
The violinist I taught. Here, 30 years ago.
Yeah, Lena Robertson. She's on the list. She lived in your apartment 30 years ago. This Lena Robertson, was she an overnight sensation?
No. Lena studied since she was a child. A splendid musician. Had a real chance at greatness.
Listen, I know I promised you, but what if you and June Foster, what if you somehow managed to channel Lena Robertson's spirit while living in that apartment?
Channeled her spirit?
The spirit of a deceased person flowing through the body of someone who's still alive.
Oh. There's just one problem then.
What?
Lena Robertson's not dead.
Mrs. Robertson?
Yes?
Hi, I'm Declan Dunn. This is Miranda Fiegelstein. We spoke with your secretary out front.
Oh, yes. Please, come in.
Thank you.
I know that apartment building. That's a fabulous property.
Fabulous.
Have you bought it?
No.
Then what's this about?
We heard you used to live in that building in apartment 3G. Is that correct?
I live there now.
You do?
Moved in last week.
Lucky girl.
Why's that?
I used to live there some years ago. It was a very special time in my life.
I heard you play the violin.
No.
Fritz Hofbauer at NOU says he taught you.
I gave it up.
How could you? I've only been playing for a week, but making music, it's the most thrilling, satisfying feeling. It's already such a part of me. You must play again.
You certainly are effusive.
Can't help it.
So tell me, sweetheart,
Sweetheart.
how do you like 3G?
I've never been happier.
Old, drafty, never enough hot water, but there's something magical about that place. Living there, I felt so free.
Why did you move?
I couldn't stay a struggling musician forever. I took a job here as receptionist to make ends meet. And one thing led to another, and here I am.
And now you own the company.
You don't seem very happy about it.
Blunt. I like that. Well, you know, managing escrow accounts is no match for Mozart's concertos.
Then I don't understand. Why did you stop playing?
Well, once I took the job here and my dream slipped away, I just couldn't bear to play anymore. It hurt too much.
I think it hurts even more not to play.
A great violinist gives up music, becomes a successful if somewhat dissatisfied businesswoman.
Yeah, she's kind of a downer.
Yeah, well, she left her spirit in the apartment, figuratively.
And now her spirit's in me.
Maybe it was in June Foster, too, you know?
Then why did she die?
Congenital heart defect. I spoke to her brother. June was fully aware of her condition. She always knew she was going to die young.
It's awful.
Well, you'd think. But her brother said when she moved into the apartment, she blossomed. She took on this effervescent personality and started to play the violin.
And he didn't question it.
Well, he thought it was strange, but she was on such a high, he didn't want to question it. He was afraid it would go away.
There's a lesson in that.
Yeah, so even though it lasted only a week, he was happy she had the experience.
See? My apartment is a nurturing, stimulating place. It's not out to get anyone. Yeah, if you'll excuse me, I have an audition.
Miranda?
Guess you heard.
Yes, we did. We just talked to Fritz.
I'm so sorry, Miranda. How are you feeling?
Like myself again.
Well, that's good.
I'm not so sure. Feeling that way is so vital. sure of myself.
Well, you don't have to lose that feeling. I mean, maybe it was triggered by some unexplained phenomena, but that confidence and energy, that's inside of you.
I'll never play like that again, though. That was a gift.
You got lots of gifts. Hey, you are an awesome scientist. The way your mind works, those gizmos you come up with. That physics problem you solved the other day, it was like hieroglyphics to me.
That was easy.
For you. You're like the Itzhak Perlman of the physics lab. Huh? You play your microscope like a Stradivarius. But you know that. You don't need to hear it from me. Listen to me. If I ever made you feel like I took you for granted, or didn't want you to have any new experiences.
Thank you for caring so much.
Miranda, George Wan,
Pleasure to meet you.
my associates.
Hello.
Please. I have to admit, I hate these interviews. All the candidates come in, working so hard to impress, and all I want them to be is themselves.
Sometimes that's the hardest thing to be.
As you know, the seminars is very intense, so we're looking for sharp minds, problem solvers, people who can think quickly on their feet.
That would be me.
Prove it.